Hello everyone. So in the last lecture we talked about linear transformations, and the obvious thing you study after linear transformation is the kernel of a linear transformation. So we will see the notion of kernel definition, then we will see why kernel. Like you have seen the notion of functions, right, in your high school or junior college, but after studying functions over there you never studied about the kernel. But then why here, after studying vector spaces and linear transformation functions, why we study kernel over here? There are plenty of reasons, but at the start I will give you a very simple and convincing answer. And after that we will see that this kernel is a subset, but it's a subspace. It's a nice set that we will see, and at the end I will take some examples for your understanding purpose. So let's go towards the first thing, kernel of a linear transformation. So suppose if you have a linear transformation LT, linear transformation from one vector space to another vector space, then how do you define a kernel? Kernel is nothing but is collection of all those vectors from V. So I'm from domain, I'm taking some vectors and they're nice vectors. Nice as in what? Those vectors whose image is 0. This is a 0 vector in W. So it is a image, So I'm talking about the image side. So this is a 0 vector in W. Okay, now see, both are the vector spaces. Your V and W both are vector spaces, so definitely both will have the additive identity. So instead of writing 0 bar and 0 bar, to avoid confusion, this is what? This is a 0 of a V vector space and this is a 0 bar of a W vector space. Okay, so you look for those elements over here whose image is nothing but the 0 vector in W. So those collection whose image is 0, then that collection is called as a kernel of a linear transformation. Now here you don't need linear transformation to define this. Like you can take any function, you look for the elements whose image is 0. But the first thing is 0 should exist in the codomain. And because W is a vector space, I know this 0 exists. That's the first use of a vector space, that this 0 exists. Good. Second point, why this set a non-empty set? Why this set is a non-empty set? Because as I told you, kernel you can define, not a problem. Once the 0 vector exists over here, you can define the notion of kernel. But the thing is this set a non-empty set? If the set is empty, why do we study empty sets? We never study empty sets. Question is this set a non-empty set? Answer is yes, when it's a linear transformation. And if V is a vector space, W is a vector space, we are assuming, because we want additive identity over here. In such a scenario, your kernel is always non-empty, because 0 bar of V always belongs to the kernel. That means under linear transformation, 0 vector always goes to the 0 vector. Proof is quite easy. It's just the smart adjustment that we do. So I can write 0 as 0 plus 0. And now since T is a linear map, so that T will come inside because T preserves linear combination. Now you subtract. I'm cancelling it out. Cancellation is not the right way to do. You subtract minus T of 0, or you add minus T of 0 both sides. So this will become 0 in W because T, so I'm on the image side. And this is what? T of 0 of V. So under T, 0 of a vector space V goes to a 0 of a vector space W. So I know that 0 always goes to 0, and therefore 0 vector will always be in this set, and therefore this set is a non-empty set. So under linear transformation between the vector spaces, we know that kernel is always non-empty, and therefore it makes sense to study the kernel. Once you study higher linear algebra, then you will realize that there is a notion of isomorphism theorems and there is a notion of quotienting out the set, and there this plays a very crucial role. Okay, but that's one importance I told you, it's a non-empty. Second importance at this stage, the basic stage I will tell you is, with the help of a kernel you can conclude whether the function is 1 1 or not. But before going to that, let's try to prove that your kernel is a subspace. Okay, we know that it is a collecting. I'm collecting the vectors from V, so I know that this is a subset. This is a subset of V. But is this a nice set? Nice as in, is this a subspace? Answer is yes. So how do you prove something is a subspace? So you take two vectors from kernel, say x bar comma y bar belongs to kernel of t, kernel of this transformation. You are having some transformation, right? And alpha belongs to R. I am assuming that V and W are real vector spaces. It works in general as well, but okay. So we have this. What I want to prove? I want to prove alpha x bar plus y bar belongs to kernel of t. And I will also want to show that this is a non-empty. So the first thing is so this is the second thing actually. First thing we need to show that 0 is a non-empty. So what do we show? Usually we show that 0 bar belongs to kernel of t. It's not compulsory, but we know that 0 exists and 0 goes to 0. So therefore we show that 0. So since 0 belongs to kernel, therefore it's non-empty, we go for the second property. Now is this belongs to kernel? That means what you want to check? You want to check whether t of alpha x plus y is 0 or not. That's what you want to check. But that's obvious, right? Because what is t of alpha x bar plus y bar? It is alpha into t of x bar plus t of y bar, because t is a linear map. But your x is in the kernel. So what is image of x? It is 0 bar. Y is in the kernel. So what is image of y? It is also 0. And what is anything into 0? It is 0. What is 0 plus 0? It is 0. So therefore your alpha x bar plus y bar is in the kernel. Therefore kernel forms a subspace of your domain vector space. Kernel is always a subspace over here in V. Okay, so now let me take some examples on how to find the kernel of a linear transformation. So let's go for the first function. Suppose if you have a function, say R2 to say R3, and I want to find the kernel of this function. So you have xy over here, and suppose it goes to x minus y, x plus y and x. So this is a linear map. So what is the kernel of t? Kernel of t is nothing but all x comma y in my domain such that its image is 0. So first thing is you always write down the definition of a kernel. So all xy in the domain whose image is 0. So what is 0 over here? 0 vector is 0 0 0. Now this part as it is. What is this? What is t of xy? It is x minus y, x plus y and x, and this is equal to 0 0 0. So now when you equate, what do you have? You have system of linear equations, and you know how to solve system of linear equations. We use matrices, Gauss elimination method and all those things. But here the things are easy. Here your x is 0. So when you put in either of them, you get y also 0. So your x and y both are 0. So what is the kernel? Kernel is nothing but 0 0, which is the singleton vector. Okay. So simply write down the definition. Apply the definition of kernel. Then write down the definition of a transformation. Equate the things. You get some conditions on the input vectors. Okay, so that was one simple example. Let us go for another example. The more examples you see, the more idea becomes clear, right? So suppose if you go from say R3 to R2. Suppose you have x, y, z, and this goes to suppose x plus y and say y plus z. Let's try to find the kernel. So what is kernel of t? So it is by definition again all those points in my domain x, y, z belongs to R3 such that its image t of x, y, z is 0. What is 0 in R2? So there's the first step. You write down the definition of the kernel. Now second step, this as it is, you write down the definition of t. So what is your t? X plus y, y plus z. This is equal to 0 0. Now you equate. So you have x plus y equal to 0. You have y plus z equal to 0. So this implies what? Your y is minus z, and this together implies what? X equal to minus y. So x equal to z. So whenever you take first and third component to be equal and second to be the minus of the third. Okay, so let me read out this. So what do we have is, we got the condition. So it is all x, y, z such that your x is equal to z is equal to minus y. Right? So you can combine all this at one shot. So you keep x as it is. Your y is minus x and your z is x, where x is a real number. So kernel is nothing but collection of all these vectors, x, minus x and x. where x is any number. So suppose if you take 1 minus 1 1, what is image of 1 minus 1 1? 1 minus 1 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, minus 1 plus 1 is 0. If you take pi minus pi pi, pi minus pi pi, so pi minus pi minus pi plus pi, again 0. So if you take any vector of this form, so if you can take out actually x outside, so x into 1 minus 1 1. So if you take any multiple of 1 minus 1 1, line passing through 0 0 0 and 1 minus 1 1 in R3, then you take any vector of this form, its image will always be 0. So kernel is nothing but the line passing through origin and 1 minus 1 1. I mean, if you want to see this pictorially, so you have a function from R3 to R2. So this is your 0 vector, 0 bar, which is 0 comma 0, and what is your 1 minus 1? So if this is my x, this is my y, this is my z, so this is negative y. So 1 is over here, minus 1 is over here, and you take 1. So this is the point, say 1 minus 1 1, and it's a line passing through this. So you take any vector on this line. Which line? Line passing through 0 0 0, 1 minus 1 1. Then all these vectors will go to the 0 vector. So that's how you find the kernel. Okay. Now let me take one last example. So suppose if you have this function from matrices to symmetric matrices. We have seen in my previous lecture that this is a linear map. If you have not seen, please have a look in that lecture. Link is there in the description. So I have to find the kernel. So what is the definition? All points in my domain whose image is 0. What is 0? It's nothing but the 0 vector, 0 matrix. Okay. Now all this thing, what is T of A? A plus A transpose equal to 0. This is my 0 matrix. Okay. 0 bar. So what is this? This implies A equal to minus A transpose. So all those matrices in the domain which satisfies this condition, that will be in the kernel. So what is this? Collection is nothing but, what is kernel? Kernel is nothing but set of all skew symmetric matrices. So if you take any skew symmetric matrix over here, its image will always be 0. And that's obvious, right? Because if your x is over here, which is a skew symmetric, then that means what? X equal to minus x transpose. In that case, what will be T of x? T of x is nothing but x plus x transpose by definition. But what is x? It is minus x transpose. So you have this equal to 0. So if you take any skew symmetric matrix, its image will always be 0 under this map. So kernel is nothing but collection of all skew symmetric matrices. So let's go for the last example. You have a transformation from all polynomials of degree 2 with real coefficients to all polynomials of degree 1 with real coefficients. What is the map? Map is a derivative map. You take a polynomial p of x, its image is nothing but its derivative. You can try to prove that derivative is a linear map. If you get stuck, you can ask me in the comment section. Now what is the kernel? By definition, all those polynomials in the domain whose image is 0. 0 means 0 polynomial. So all those polynomial, what is the definition of t? It is derivative. So p prime of x equal to 0. So what is your p? If you integrate both sides, your p of x is nothing but a constant. So therefore, what is the kernel? All those polynomials which are constant. And you can see, right, if you take a constant polynomial, its derivative is 0. So constant polynomials will always have the output as 0. So therefore, kernel is nothing but set of all constant polynomials, which is nothing but whole real number. All real numbers are constants, right? So therefore, the kernel is nothing but set of real numbers. You take any real number which is a constant, its output will be 0. Okay. What is P2R? All polynomials of degree less equal to all polynomials of degree less equal 1. So yeah, now let me give you some homework problems for your practice. So here are the 3 homework problems for you. You have to tell me the kernel in each of the case. Polynomials, what is this set? Set of all polynomials of degree less equal 3. Polynomials of degree less equal 1. The map is double derivative. You are taking derivative 2 times. It's a linear map. You have to tell me the kernel. Here a matrix is going to a real number. So you take a matrix, you find the trace. Then this is a linear map. You have to tell me what is the kernel of this matrix. And this is the last one. So you have to tell me what is the kernel for each of these 3 linear transformations. So I hope the notion of kernel is clear to you. If yes, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.